I got a little bit sick over the weekend. You can probably tell that from my voice today. But to my surprise, yesterday I checked the charts. We were up only. The prices have recovered a lot, especially yesterday on Sunday and also this morning here on Monday. The question is now, was that it? Is the bear market over? This brutal 3-day bear market? And there were people that panic sold at the bottom, that panic sold into fear. I hope you were not one of them and you have diamond hands and you're holding through these times. At best, you are doubling down and buying more on bloody days like we saw last week. But the market is recovering. Also, the ETF flows are recovering, and not only recovering, but they are pumping insanely. We saw on Friday, not only BlackRock back in the game with $13 million of inflows, Fidelity $103 million, but also we saw Grayscale with $63 million of inflows after only having outflows ever since their ETF launched of $17 billion cumulative net flows for Grayscale. And that accounted for $380 million almost in total net inflows on Friday. So we will see if that trend continues this week or if we are going to go back into bear mode. In any case, I have a packed episode today, not only because of that, but also because there's a lot of green movements in the Cosmos ecosystem, also a lot of big news, big updates that we're going to be covering. And also I'll be sharing an update about Cosmos NFTs in the new Cito NFT Zone. But let's do this one by one and look into the prices on the Cosmos ecosystem. We see Atom back at $9.50 almost, Akash network above $5, Axelar 131, Celestia 1060, and so on and so forth. Overall, very, very green week. We saw the top gainer in the past 24 hours is actually Fetch AI. And one very interesting thing also happened around Fetch AI is that Fetch is now ranked 23 with a $6.4 billion FDV, fully diluted valuation. And we saw the market cap actually just almost tripled at 2.5x from 2 billion to over 5 billion. And why is that? Well, that's because they adjusted here the circulating supply up to 2.5 billion tokens that are in circulation apparently. I guess all of this is also verifiable on chain. The fact that Fetch started on Ethereum and then migrated onto their Cosmos chain, all the liquidity, and now is in the process of actually deploying ASI, the artificial super intelligence, with the merger of Ocean Protocol, Singularity Net into one platform that is all migrating onto this network, the Fetch AI chain, which is Cosmos native, is very, very interesting. And I guess this process, we'll see how that will be priced in, how the ASI token will land, will perform, what valuation will have. I guess this is all work in progress. So Fetch actually now is the largest Cosmos chain in production on mainnet, much, much larger now than the Cosmos Hub. Actually, if we look here by market cap, you can see 6.16 versus 3.71. However, if you compare it by staked amount, which is basically the network security, the Cosmos Hub is still 3 or 4 times bigger than Fetch at this point. In any case, Fetch, a very, very interesting project, of course, been covering a lot here. We're also a validator with Cito. You can also delegate your FET tokens to us, and we'll always keep you posted about all things also around the merger when there's news that we can share. And if you are new to the Cosmos ecosystem, or if you just want to keep more track of everything that's happening in the interchain, then I strongly recommend you to bookmark mapofzones.com alongside mintscan.io. Mintscan is really the interchain explorer, and Map of Zones is the on-chain analytics platform, especially for IBC volumes and also user activity, right? Daily, monthly, weekly active users. You can filter that here. You can see the most active pairs, the biggest volumes, all these kind of things. And one interesting strategy could be to actually look at on-chain volumes and numbers and compare that to price and see actually if price matches or front runs or lags behind the on-chain activities here, right? And you can also see traction here, right? For example, Akash gained massive tractions and is up 5 ranks in the past week when it comes to IBC volumes, for example, right? So you can see all of that here. And also just the state of Cosmos, the entire Cosmos ecosystem market cap is at $46.5 billion right now. And in terms of monthly users, we almost have 2 million monthly IBC users, which is actually a huge number. And if you zoom out and look at the entirety of the Cosmos and IBC ecosystem, then I think you can see that the state is actually very healthy. There's also decent competition, right, amongst some of the peers. We see also now Dydx that is also gaining massive traction here after they launched their Cosmos chain in late last year. You can also see, for example, the Cosmos Hub still super relevant and the most used chain in Cosmos as per monthly active users on its own network, much bigger than Celestia, much bigger than Dymension, and so on and so forth. And you can really get a feeling here, right? Also newer chains like Saga, you can track how they are developing and evolving, right? And speaking of Saga, we actually have the first Saga airdrop announcement, and it is about Saga itself. And for that, first of all, they are rewarding loyal Saga stakers. You know that we've always been talking about how Saga really cares about loyalty. So the snapshot for this Saga airdrop is April 26th, and the eligibility criteria is either you staked 101 Saga or you staked 95% at least of your Genesis airdrop, and you get a loyalty bonus, a 4x multiple for any Genesis airdrop recipients who staked more than 95% of their airdrop. And these 3 million Saga tokens are from the unclaimed airdrop of the first Saga airdrop. And there's also a whale cap of 10,000 Saga tokens. Also make sure that you bookmark this site, the claim page for the Saga airdrop, which says here, loyalty drop for Saga coming soon. I guess once this is claimable and live, you will be able to get and claim your airdrop right here. Then we also have other airdrop news, this time from EigenLayer. We talked a lot about the Eigen Stakedrop when it was announced. There was a lot of backlash from the community. They made some adjustments now. So if you are an Eigen restaker or user, then you're now getting an additional 100 Eigen tokens. So the minimum is not actually 10 Eigen, but 110 Eigen tokens that you will be getting. I think this is a good initiative to kind of realign with the retail community, especially with kind of the smaller, restakers. Another information they clarified here is that investors and the team tokens will only start to count their lockup after the Eigen token is transferable for the community. So there is going to be a 1-year cliff and then a 4% per month unlock for 3 years after transferability. When is transferability enabled? Well, they're giving us a date now, which is September 30th, 2024. And then from then, the vesting and cliff will start for investors and for the team. And also, they will do a testnet operator allocation as part of phase 2 of season 1 for their airdrop, right? So I think, they're listening to the community feedback here, and I think this makes a lot of sense. It's very smart. And they're just taking note of the backlash here and took immediate action, which is great to see. I already mentioned Dydx here, how they are rising in volumes and activity and are one of the flagship chains in the Cosmos ecosystem, I would say. They are currently working on integrating CosmWasm, which is the native smart contract framework to the Cosmos ecosystem that unlocks a lot of use cases and capabilities for the Dydx chain. Note that the Cosmos Hub and Atom will deploy permissioned CosmWasm, which means it's gate capped by governance and not as open and obviously permissionless as the implementation that Dydx is working on. But this also makes sense on the Cosmos Hub for focusing more on other use cases like mesh security, or also just to provide better tooling for Cosmos Hub developers. We also have some interesting stats here from Osmosis. I talked to you about it last week, how Osmosis is going to partner up with Babylon for Bitcoin staking so that Osmosis can also become a security aggregator chain in a similar sense how the Cosmos Hub has already announced it and is also already working on that. And Osmosis is still the flagship DEX in the Cosmos ecosystem with a 5th consecutive month now of 1 billion plus in trading volume on the Osmosis DEX. So I hope they can maintain that spot. Osmosis, in my opinion, is still the best DEX in Cosmos. I think they're undergoing a bit of a renaissance right now. Sunny is also a self-declared Bitcoin maxi, which is why the alloyed Bitcoin announcement makes a lot of sense. And alloyed assets, basically, how they want to maximize the utility and usage of all these BTC derivatives. So definitely Osmosis one to keep an eye on. And I'm interested to see also how that will continue and how that narrative around their Bitcoin L2, which to be honest, it's not really a Bitcoin L2. Osmosis will remain a Cosmos L1, just to clarify that. But it will be interesting to see how the narrative will catch up and how the price will evolve over the next couple of weeks. Because so far, Osmosis, I think, has lost some rankings and some traction and momentum on the token side, right? You can see here on the fundamentals, it's up only pretty much. April has been a bit of a slow month, but also I think there's a lot of big token launches coming up in Q2, Q3. that will cause huge spikes again in volume once these tokens are going live. Then we also have breaking news fresh off the press. Cryptocom just announced that both Osmo and Dime are now available for on-chain staking in the Crypto.com app. So if you're a Crypto.com user, you can now stake your Osmo and Dime within the Cryptocom app. Note that Cryptocom is actually also the parent company that's behind Cronos, which is also an Cosmos L1. And Cronos is an EVM compatible L1 that actually deployed Ethermint first in production in collaboration with the evmos team back in the days. And Cryptocom is now also adding more and more tokens from the Cosmos ecosystem. Then we have news, Cosmos Hub Proposal 912 passed, which marks a new milestone for the Cosmos ecosystem, especially for Atom as an asset, because now these 4% of the treasury, which equals almost 190,000 atoms, will be liquid staked both with Stride and P-Stake and then used to mint IST. And these IST will then be used to provide liquidity for stable tokens, including USDC on Osmosis, Astroport, AstroVault, which is on Archway, Shade Protocol, and Quasar, which really deepens the stable token liquidity and I think is a very, very important step. If that becomes a success, it not only generates revenue for the Cosmos Hub and Atom, but also it will be used as a blueprint for a subsequent proposal that will ask for 6% more, so that it totals 10% of the community pool. Maybe by then we already have Atom Wars live, so this could also route through that, which is now called Hydro. I made a full-on video about that as well. But yeah, it is the current state, so congratulations to the DCF for this proposal that passed. If we look at the RWA segment, real-world assets tokenization, which you know I'm very, very bullish on for this cycle, we have breaking news from Securitize, which is not a Cosmos chain, but they announced a $47 million fundraiser, which was also led by BlackRock. So that's very, very interesting. We talked about it last week, how hedera, hbar released the news that they're tokenizing BlackRock products, but now we actually have BlackRock backing a tokenization platform called Securitize, and that obviously also will spill over into some of the other existing RWA plays. Mantra is our best horse alongside, I guess, Provenance, and there are some others in the Cosmos ecosystem. So Mantra, they're also now in the process of rolling out the airdrop for the Cosmos community, and they will also prepare for the launch of their layer 1 blockchain that is based on Cosmos and will become part of the IBC gang. Check that out. They made a full-on post here about their April recap, which brought a lot of news about their Galaxy campaign, the Hongbai Incentivized Testnet, which by the way stands for Hong Kong and Dubai. So just if you wondered, their newly announced incubator program, OM listings, and much more. Check that out here. And with Cito, we're also going to be a Genesis validator for Mantra, by the way. Then we have some interesting alpha here from Zaki, who is actually telling us that Libra is now live on Osmosis. And to be honest, I wasn't aware of this project until I saw this tweet from Zaki. But basically, the project is called Zero L. So he's saying that Zero L was started to being conceived in 2019, soon after Facebook Libra effort was announced. It's actually an OG project, apparently, and is now available and trading on Osmosis. It currently has a market cap of $455 million and is probably a contender to Sui and Aptos, which both have $10 billion plus valuation. I think Sui is somewhere, page one, 2.6 billion, but 11 billion fully diluted, and Aptos is actually ranked 29 with a 4 billion market cap and also over $10 billion FTV. We also have Movement Labs coming up, which you know I'm also an investor in, and I'm very excited to see Rushi and the team going on mainnet. But now we also have Libra, which I have to do my homework on. So let me know if you know much about Libra. You can find more information here on CoinHall, on HallSwap, and do your research from here. We also have some exciting news coming out from Aleph Zero this month in May, and we did a full-on recap about the achievements and announcements in April. We also talked a lot about the kind of messaging and the narrative that Aleph Zero really fits into, because this is a highly, highly technical project and very well respected among the developer community. But I think they need to work more on their messaging going outwards, because Aleph Zero itself is one of the pioneers when it comes to ZK privacy and also for scalability. They're substrate-based, but also focus a lot on interoperability, which you can tell because they are now going to connect to Ethereum on May 21st, which is just two and a half weeks away. They also launch a fiat-backed stable token and many more things. The STC Bahrain news was also announced here in Dubai. I was actually at the dinner where this was kind of formally announced. also talked to STC, and yeah, they're actually very excited to join Aleph Zero and to join the Web3 movement as a whole. And also, another piece of alpha that is coming is Common. Common DEX is going to be the flagship DEX in the Aleph Zero ecosystem, and potentially also the entire substrate ecosystem, because right now there isn't really a kind of fully fleshed out, widely adopted DEX in the Polkadot or Kusama ecosystem. So Common might be the one. I'm very excited about that one. They will also probably have an airdrop around it. Same for some other projects that are launching within the Aleph Zero ecosystem. There are actually over 75 projects built on Aleph Zero, so keep an eye on that as well. Moving over to the Cito NFT Zone, we will look into some of the NFT projects. There's exciting stuff cooking, but generally speaking, Cosmos NFTs are slowly getting traction, slowly then rapidly. We actually already saw over 8,000 NFTs that have been IBC transferred in 2024 alone, powered by ICS 721, which is the token standard in Cosmos that allows for NFTs to natively flow between sovereign layer 1 blockchains in Cosmos. And we really saw the mad scientist NFTs take that properly to the market. So that's been a great achievement, because mad scientists are actually native to the Osmosis chain, but they are now mainly trading on Stargaze, which makes a lot of sense, because Stargaze is really where all the liquidity, all the user activity, and habits are from users. And speaking of mad scientists, remember how I announced a giveaway a couple of weeks ago? I actually chose ZK Snarkstaff 8592. We had contact. He also verified his address. So thanks for this lovely comment. Actually read most of these comments here. Really means a lot to read those stories and how my content could help you also to navigate through crypto, navigate through Cosmos, get some airdrops, get some free money, optimize for that. And really means a lot. So thanks for all your comments. We'll probably do more of these in the future. So always stay up to date, activate the bell to not miss out on new videos. And as we're on it, also check out After the Filter Year 1 Survivors. You can mint your NFT if you are an After the Filter holder. You can mint it for free. After the free mint, which ends on Friday, you would have to pay 1 million stars to get one of these. And finally, some alpha for all NFT fans. Go and follow Pixel Geist. He's actually the artist behind BitKits, and he might have something cooking for BitKit holders. So if you held a bad kit, you got BitKits airdrop for free, and now there might be something cooking. At least that was teased by Pixel Geist on Discord. So check that out as well. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you learned something, you got some alpha, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay safe and be good.